I'm not even sure if I've been doing that intro. Like, I think I've just been getting on here and just starting the message. Listen, I'll be having something to say. I'm just joking. But on a serious note, one thing that's just really been pressed on me in this season is that I'm not very apologetic in this season. And oh my goodness, this can come from two different places, y'all. And the place that I be coming from with this, I want people to understand that it's okay to operate from that space, the space that I'm coming from with it. So now let me give y'all the two spaces first before I even get into the word. One space where you're just like unapologetic and this, that, and the third, and you just moving about life. You like this what it is, you popping it, you get what I'm saying? That is more so, it can come from a space of trauma, like just being unhealed and you feeling like you have to become this numb person, or you have to become a person who just does not care. You get what I'm saying? In order to make it, or in order to survive, you feel like, you know what, the world done treated me like this, and I'm about to treat the world the same way because this is the way the world is. And that's really not the space that I'm talking about. So now let me get into the space that I'm talking about, y'all. What I'm saying is, me being unapologetic in this season, it is because I've come to realize when to apologize and when to just be standing your ground for real. And when I say standing your ground, I'm talking about with anything. I am talking about with anything. I'm talking about, it ain't even gotta be no beef involved. It ain't even gotta be no hardship involved. You can be standing your ground simply because you understand within yourself. It ain't even gotta be no issue. I'm gonna give you an example. There are people who has come into my life and God immediately exposed them. Then there were people, you get what I'm saying? So you can easily get rid of people that God automatically exposed. Get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, well, cool. We just not about to build a bond. God done already said what he said about you. But then it's the people where you've known them for some time, and then their heart, it will change, and y'all paths will end up splitting. You get what I'm saying? And God will reveal too in that season, like either that person was never meant to come, and more than likely they weren't. You know what I'm saying? Because God already knew down the line that y'all were not going to be like able to really unionize. Is that a word? I don't know. It sounds like it is. So either way it goes, he will already know that. And now this is the thing. When it comes to them type of people, majority of people will be like, no, I'm taking you. No, you're coming with. And when I say I've been unapologetic in this season, and you should be too, it is because you know that if you take a person where they are not called, it's going to destroy them or you, or both of y'all. That is the only result that come from that. So when you walking in God, I am not going to lie. You got to learn how to have thick and tough skin, because there are not always going to be direct reasons. God will come to you and start speaking to you about a person that you just was like, hold on, wait, like this was my closest buddy. Let me tell y'all, even recently, this just happened to me. Like within my family, like people that I literally was like we like this. I had to come to realize, like, well, we like this, but we not like this. And it's not because it has to be personal. It's because sometimes you can, and it's not to belittle anything or anybody, but sometimes you'll end up outgrowing the relationship. But God is not going to look at you and be like, well, you got to wait for them to grow. No, God already let us know that the laborers are few. So he's going to snatch the ones who was willing to do the work. And if them other people are willing to do the work eventually, then he may merge the relationships back. But you can't be so apologetic and so sorrowful and so regretful about decisions that had to be made. Like a lot of the times people be calling themselves adults, but really they be big old children. They can never make the hard decisions. They don't have the heart to. They don't have the wisdom to. They don't have the discipline to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? So understand that when you walking in God, it's going to come off as if sometimes you're popping it. It's going to come off as if you're being insensitive. And when I say insensitive, it's not saying like, oh, you saw somebody laid out on the side of the road and you was just like, well, I hope they're strong enough to get up, because if they got the faith, then God got them. Like, that's not what I'm saying when I say insensitive, but I'm saying that you don't be regretful from making decisions that you know God has already unctioned you to make. Decisions that God has literally, my nose is itching, but decisions that God has been in agreement with, and he's been nudging you to eventually finally make. You get what I'm saying? But either way it goes though, y'all, just understand that in this season, don't feel bad for being aware of who you are or where God is calling you. People are not going to want to support you because you know who you are. People are not going to want to try to lift your spirit because they're going to feel like you're looking down on them. When you know who you are, people who don't know who they are, it's going to make them feel as if you're cocky. But that's because they don't know what self-awareness is. They don't know what true confidence is. That's why they can support the people who are faking their confidence. Honestly, because fake confidence still seeks validation. So therefore, in those spaces, the other insecure people, they willing to support because they are needed by them people. Because those people need the insecure people's validation. But when you are a person who literally is like, listen, I walk on my own, I can move on my own, and it's not even just me by myself. It's just whatever it is that comes my way, I know I'm going to be able to maneuver. I know that I'm going to get through it. I know God is going to carry me through it when I can no longer do it on my own. I understand these things, and I don't need you to really tell me. I don't need you to boast my head up. I don't need you to, you get what I'm saying? Because even if I lose you, God will send somebody else in my moments of weak faith. If I do need somebody to come and speak life into me. So therefore, when you have a mentality and a firm foundation that's really built on God, a lot of people don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to digest it. And my whole goal in this video is just to get people to understand that you don't even have to explain that to them. That's another thing. That's what I mean by being unapologetic, because you can see a person for where they are and you can understand where they're at, and you'll know that it's a waste of time to even really explain it. Not saying that you shouldn't, because then one day they may see, but I'm just saying you don't necessarily have to try to overly explain it. And instead, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, it's different things that will come throughout life that will be draining to you if you don't understand that people, they may be a part of your mission, but they are not your mission. And what I mean by that is, like I said in my last video, I'll try to explain it. But when you're in a room with certain people, you could be in a room full of people, right? And you pouring into them people as you're in that room because that's what God has poured into you. So it can overflow onto them. But when you leave that room and you're in a whole new room full of whole new people, I'm pouring into them. Whatever I offered in that room, it was left in that room. So therefore, that's what I mean by growing to understand that you don't have to overly explain. When you start serving, you gonna come, you gonna serve, you gonna go. And wherever you're at next, you gonna come, you gonna serve, you gonna go. My bad, y'all. I'm looking at people because they just be doing stuff. But either way it goes, yeah, just learning that heart posture. And it's not about being mean. You actually will still be very empathetic. It's like, you can feel for people. You will be there for people because you're already used to serving. So you don't lose your servitude. You just lose your insecurity. You lose your need to overly explain. And another thing too, when you learn how much God loves you, you'll understand how gentle he actually is. And that will help you to stop overly explaining. Like, I heard somebody say one time that people don't judge people based on their actions. They judge people based on their intentions, right? And when it come to God, honestly, it be feeling like both ways. Like he'll discipline you for your action, but sometimes he'll show you grace based on the intention. You know what I'm saying? But either way it goes though, y'all, I just wanted to get on here and get y'all that word. Oh, last thing before I go, because I just feel it on my heart to put this out there. You might have been seeing 231, you might not have, but I was explaining in this short that I had made a few minutes ago. And in that short, I was about to go lay down, right? So I was about to go to sleep, and I literally heard God say 231, right? And this was confusing me for a while, so now I just want to explain it to y'all. Because as you can hear, 231 is out of order, because usually you'll hear 1 2 3 or 3 2 1, right? But I kept hearing 2 3 1, placing the 3 in the middle, right? So before I went to bed about a night ago or two, I heard God say 2 3 1, and I was like, 2 3 1? Like, what is 2 3 1? Get what I'm saying? So then I heard him say Psalms. So I was like, oh, okay, so that's either chapter 23 verse 1 or that's chapter 2 verse 31. So I looked at chapter 23, and starting at verse 1, this is the chapter where he was saying that the Lord is your shepherd and you shall not want, right? If you want to go read it for yourself, go read it for yourself. As I was saying, I believe in the short, go read it for yourself. But it says that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And that he was comforting and he protecting. It was like he was protecting and comforting you by his staff and his rod. I can't remember it word for word, y'all already know. But then it started to say in the next verse, it was talking about how God is preparing a table in the presence of your enemies. So I'm just sharing that with you just in case you've been seeing 231, just as I've been seeing 231, just to help you out a bit. So either way it goes though, y'all, that was the word God gave me that night. And like I said, if you want to read it for yourself just to get the full effect, it was Psalms chapter 23, starting at verse 1. But either way it goes, yeah, so I just wanted to get that word to y'all. If you've just been feeling like, you know, you can't glow, you can't grow, you can't shine, you can't be appreciative of what God has exposed to you about yourself, because people around you feel uncomfortable because you're so comfortable with who God has created you to be. Like, you're joyful about it. And people ain't gonna understand that if they ain't did the work you've done. And I just want to let you know, you don't have to be regretful. You ain't got to dull your light. You ain't got to stop shining. Because guess what people know how to do? Adjust. Not trying to be funny. But when you depressed, when you sad, when you down and out, people know how to adjust to the fact that your life is miserable. So guess what? They can adjust to the fact that you are happy. They can adjust to the fact that you are glowing and growing. They can adjust. You ain't got to worry about them. They part of the mission, not the mission, okay? So listen, I just want everybody to grow, glow, and keep going in God. I love y'all, though. I'm going to catch y'all in the next Mommie God vlog video. I actually am editing my video. I was supposed to drop a vlog so long ago, and I didn't because I've been working on so many different things. But now, let me tell y'all something before I go. Your girl got one class left. One class left, and then I get to go into the program and get that knocked out. So now I'm kind of like getting some free time. So that's why I'm just now editing the vlog. I'm just now being like, okay, I'm about to shoot my music videos. I'm about to step into my purpose. I'm about to keep growing in different areas that God has called me to, and this, that, and the third. That's because now my time is freeing up. But I love y'all. I've always made time for y'all. I'm going to always make time for y'all. I'm going to catch y'all in the next Mommie God vlog video, you guys. Bye, y'all.